Many of the 200 animals here are orphans. The babies are cared for in the orphan nursery.
It's time for your milk.
Kondwani is looking after one of the more peculiar-looking orphans, rescued from the illegal wildlife trade.
There you go.
A baby pangolin called Pango Pup.
Pango Pup has been here for about 5 months now. As you can see, she's very cute, and this is my first time handling a pangolin at this age. So every day I'm learning something new. When she's drinking, she makes a lot of mess. As you can see right now, the milk is just dripping all over. She tries to drink in more than she can swallow, so some of it comes out. But she's taking in a lot, so that's what we want.
These shy nocturnal creatures are the only mammal covered in scales. This uniqueness makes them the most trafficked wild animal in the world. Their scales are used in traditional Chinese medicine and African folk remedies to supposedly cure everything from arthritis to anorexia. Poachers snatch as many as 300 pangolins from the wild every day. The lucky ones are rescued and brought to the centre. Kondwani has just collected another casualty. This one's in desperate need of care.
From what I've just seen, it looks like he has an injury to his leg. So it seems like it's cut. Because you can actually see the bone inside.
Vet Charlotte and head of animal care, Tori, want to find out how serious the wound is.
So first step will be if you can pop her on the floor there. Oof, yep.
You can see it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, it's very bad.
Yep. Looks like tibia fibia, doesn't it?
This pangolin has lost most of its back left leg, possibly from being caught in a snare.
We can tell by the look of the wound and also, unfortunately, from the smell of it, that there's definitely infection there. And it's unfortunately the infection that holds the biggest risk to her.
Could you see how she's dragging that tail behind her? The fact that she's almost completely flat on the ground tells us that she's incredibly tired and hungry and dehydrated. Just really, really not in a good way. Whenever you're dealing with pangolins, it's always really difficult. So these guys have always been through absolute hell before they get to the centre. Whenever we have a pangolin come in, we're always, fighting the clock.
This pangolin won't survive in the wild with such a bad wound. Her only hope is surgery to help it heal.
We're going for it, no more adventures, because we tried to get stuck behind the fridge.
But they don't have the facilities at the Wildlife Centre. The best they can do for now is try to stabilise her.
My main priorities at the minute, first and foremost, making sure this pangolin's comfortable. With having bone exposed, you can imagine that's going to be painful. So the concoction of things that she has today is a mixture of things that will make her feel more comfortable and also 2 different types of antibiotics and fluids.
I know, I'm sorry.
Charlotte is hoping the antibiotics will control the infection until they can operate.
Oh, good girl.
Pango Pup has the run of the entire centre. Today, Mandy's giving the baby pangolin some exercise. She'll be walking kilometres at a time once she goes back to the wild.
The pangolin is definitely a good change of pace. As you can see, she's slow moving. Adult pangolins walk on their back legs and they balance their front legs up like this, and they use their tail as a counterbalance. She's pretty good now about lifting her tail off the ground, but she still walks on all 4s, which is cute, but she'll grow out of that.
Pango Pup's prospects are good. In a few months, she should be able to be released. But for the pangolin with the injured leg, the future is less certain.
Sorry, Pango, hold on.
The team, who've called her Peggy, are taking her to a clinic on the far side of Lilongwe, which has an operating theatre.
It's in? Yep. Okay, turn the gas on, please, all the way to 5.
Manager Tino often helps with wildlife emergencies.
Holy smokestacks.
Charlotte has to decide whether to amputate what remains of Peggy's leg.
We can't leave her with exposed bone. What we need to do is figure out whether the skin around that wound is healthy enough that it will support us closing over this area if we are to surgically manage this wound.
Charlotte, if you think that something is a good try, but you're not 100% sure how it's going to work out, think about it this way. She can't live like that. So our options are surgically fix it or euthanasia.
Charlotte agrees an amputation is Peggy's best hope. Amanda and Tori are monitoring the anaesthetic, but none of them have operated on a pangolin before.
So if you're happy, Tori, I want to remove these 2 bones, which is the tibia and fibia, and providing that the femur, which leads into them, looks healthy, we'll try and leave that in place. So I'm just trying to reflect the skin back just to get a better idea of where we are and what we can see underneath.
Once she started cutting, her resp's halved. She's still breathing, but she's holding her breath. We're back, yep.
Sweet. Very nice, Charlotte.
Thank you.
The bones are out. Now Charlotte has to close the wound. But on a pangolin, that's not straightforward.
This was always going to be a jigsaw, so to speak, to piece things back together. There isn't much plain skin between the scales, so you've got limited kind of tissues to play around with. But we're getting there.
It's like a relief to see something that we can do something about. We've had other pangolins that come in that the wounds were so extensive, we actually couldn't do anything. This is the first time that we've actually been able to actually do surgery, and it's been exciting to have Charlotte do that.
The surgery has been successful. Peggy's going back to the centre to recover and to see if she can manage with just 3 legs.
Performing surgery over here, it takes a lot out of you. The heat definitely gets to you. You do feel a little bit drained afterwards, but happy that it seemed to go fairly well today.
Tori and animal care assistant Ella are taking Peggy, the injured pangolin, on a nighttime adventure.
Maybe if we go through the lower trail gate, but then go up.
Yeah, on that way, there's a big termite mound that I saw earlier with Pango Pups.
Cool.
Peggy's recovering well from her operation. The team have a site safe from poachers where they could release her.
All right, I think you can pop her down if you like.
Okay.
First, she has to learn to walk again.
These guys have been documented to travel ridiculous distances in a night and eating for like 90% of that time. So what we need to do is make sure that she can do it now that she's got that limb missing. But as soon as we've worked that out, the rest she already knows. She knows what she likes to eat. She knows how to find a burrow. So all of those stuff is already done for us, which is good news. There we go. Animals are incredible. You know, they surprise us every single day. What we're seeing as Peggy moves around in the bush that's really cool is that she's already kind of making changes and adaptations to the way that she moves to compensate for that loss of leg. She's curling her tail up into kind of a knuckle and almost using that as a substitute leg. So if you see her, she'll take a step and then she'll curl up and take a step with that tail. My favorite part of the job is seeing an animal come in and it's tired and sick and scared, and just being able to watch it grow and develop and turn into a happy, healthy animal. Peggy, she's got a little ways to go still, but she's already moving around as if nothing happened. It won't be too long before she's ready to head back out there into the wild.
Hey Love Nature fans, be sure to like and subscribe to catch all our wild animal stories. Get closer to nature right here on YouTube.